Welcome to another high school preview segment, part of the Palmetto Dugout Show. Today we got Coach Waddle from Broome High School. What's up, Coach?
How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Glad to get you on the show today, so you can talk about your guys a little bit in the upcoming Broome season. So we'll start out and we'll talk about your team last year. Talk about that a little bit, as well as some guys that you lost from last year's team.
Yeah, well, great bunch. We actually finished 18-8. Ran into Seneca. They had the lefty. He's very good. I'm so glad the Tigers committed to him. They were kind of reluctant, but that cat can pitch. He misses a lot of bats. And we'll go up there, and they knock us out. Two great games. And, we were able to throw Dawson his pitch limit. We felt like if we could get their guy out before Jeb ran out of pitches, we had a chance.
Yeah.
That never came to fruition. And they got us an extra innings, brought a senior in, Cam Moore, who just was there for us. Cam actually ended 3-0 and had a 1.8 ERA, but he came in relief, and they scratched that run they needed and beat us 1-0. But that's how it ended. But we're 18-8, finished third in the region. Clinton had a good bunch from years back, starting in the 7th grade. We knew they was going to be good because they beat our C team so bad they were stepping on the plate to get outs. So when they got to be seniors, they're going to be pretty good. And Sean came back. No disrespect to the previous staff, but when McCarthy got in there, his mentality as a coach really blended with that talent. In the last 2 years, they were good. And they finished second. No, I lied. They won it. They beat Chapman for the region title down at Woodard for the playoff game. And Fisaro does such a great job with his club, and to see what he's done over the years with those guys, and Ricky Montalvo's, boy, he was a trendsetter in terms of the conference. I don't know if he lost a game. Might have been the last one at Clinton. We saw Ricky behind the plate. Yo does a great job. Those two combos, they're good. And Fisaro does such a good job of his. He plays to the level, to the talent that he has. If he's got power, they're gonna swing, and if he can run, he's gonna bunt it. He does a super job, and those kids believe in him, and they're good. They play the game away. And you beat Chapman, you've done something pretty daggone good.
Yeah.
And I feel like his best team was 2 years ago during COVID. Man, if those guys would have been able to play the season, they were pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So, that's good Lord works in mysterious ways. I ain't gonna question nothing, but wow, I'm glad. We thought we were good, so we got to play them before COVID hit, and we weren't there yet. They beat us pretty solid. I want to say it was 8-2 that night, and I was glad it was just that. We shook their hands on the back and said, "Good job." And COVID hit the next week, but I'm glad our kids got to play that club, because that just gave us a measure of where we were.
Yeah.
And, but we, like I said, we're 18-8. Lost Jeb Dawson. Wow, kid is fabulous. 2 years ago, we struck out 80 and 40 innings.
Gosh,
we struck out 64 and 54 innings this past year. He's at the Centerville in honors college. He wasn't. We tried to get him recruited, and they just didn't think he threw hard enough. And every time he pitched for him, he wasn't what they was looking for. But he's down there in their academic program, and he's an honors guy, and he wants to make a career out of that thing. So not only was he a great pitcher, he's a good dude to be around.
Yeah.
I hear he's dating a former commandant's daughter, granddaughter. So, yeah, he's in Jim. Yeah, he's going to be okay. You'll see him on TV one day, probably as a senator somewhere. Good dude. Adam Stacy was another we're truly going to miss. Adam had a chance to go and play some junior college baseball, but he looked at me and he says, "Coach," he said, "I want to start my career." And, he's certified in welding. I lied, heating and air conditioning, and he was certified in another area. And he says, "Coach, I want to get out there. I want to get a co-op with a big company." And he says, "I want to start making money." I've never had that in 6 years. I have a kid to say, "I'd rather go work than go play baseball." And that cat knows what he's doing. And
that's good. They get that money early.
Yeah. And then Dylan Ramirez, he's up at North Greenville, freshman quarterback. And I think he broke the record for passes and yards in 1 year. It was a phenomenal athlete. Boy, he transferred in from Gaffney, and man, we got better when he turned the door to walk in the hallway. That he was good in football, he was good in basketball, he was good in baseball. And to have that time, if he concentrated just baseball, he could be drafted. He's that good athlete. And he goes up to North Greenville this year and proves it in football, and he's a good dude. And he makes people better around him. That's the thing you say about Ramirez. And he's fun to watch. And he could throw from all angles, football, baseball. We put him at third the first couple of years because we had so many balls hit to third due to our pitching velocity. I should tell you something. So anyway, we moved him short last year. Jim increased his velo. He got it up and did a tremendous job. But he hit a legit 485.
Gosh.
That is no lie. That's what that kid hit his junior year. So last year he didn't quite get it. He was in the high threes, but everybody knew him. And he turned 2 around against Burns, and Burns 5A. And, here we are, a little 3A. But he turned them 2 around, and them folks from the 5As went, yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, I tried to tell you. He's pretty good. So, but he could play, and just a good dude. We lost Brady Jones. Brady's down at P27. He's great talent. Kid throws to the 90s. Working on his control, developed some more pitches. I saw him fall against SMC, and they looked real good. And, he's the type kid. He's committed to Carolina. He's just going into his junior year, and he wanted to go to that next level. And you can't fault a kid.
No, you can't.
You get some guys that are like, man, how you? I said, dude, if that kid can make himself better, leaving Broome and going somewhere else, I'm going to pat him on the back, pray for him, and watch where he goes. I know if I was a parent and I had an opportunity for somebody to come to me and say, we want your kid here, if we can try to take him to these levels, Bo, I'm all in. And I've been a high school coach for 30-plus years, and I've been a college coach, but I can't fault that. I mean, when that kid can make himself better, he's going to be on TV one day, and I don't know if it's going to be at Carolina or, right now, I'm projecting more of a college guy just where his body's tight. Those pro guys, 6'3", 6'4", 225.
Some big old dudes.
He ain't there yet. But his arm is good. He's a good kid. We're going to miss him. We really are. But we wish him so much, success down there in P27. He'll do good. And he's a bulldog. He gets in there at it. And I hope they watch him swing a stick for us last over 300, the 9th grader and the 10th grader.
Gosh.
So, he's a pretty good little athlete. I mean, and everybody thought, his arm. Dude can play. And so, I hope he gets a shot. But the ones I seen that night at SMC, it's a tough road to hoe at P27. We both swing the stick. I think they put a 10 spot on the Pioneers, and Tim Wallace, the Pioneers. You go into there and you do any damage, you've done something.
Yeah, and, you're exactly right.
It was phenomenal. And we got another Crawford. Graduated. He's down at Columbia International, and he played in the big leagues, and he's down there doing a Jonathan Johnson. Just a super guy. I actually got to work in Diamond Prospects Camp with him down there during COVID because we could have it down there as a private school. And anyway, I met him down there then, and then he started recruiting Crawford, and Crawford had a great year for us. He came out. He had struggled a little bit, had some injuries all along. And
what are some guys you got coming back that were crucial last year?
Paul Lee helped us toward the year. Paul Lee's going to be a DH. Hunter Jolly pitched for us some last year. And then, let me see. I don't lie to you. I got his stats right here. Jolly was able to get some innings in for us. And let's see. He's a lefty. He had 60 for us. Ended up ERA 4. And he's our experienced arm coming back. Carpenter kid, he's a home, came to us from county, and I actually his grandmother. I've been there. I graduated with his grandmother, and he come rolling in about 2 years ago, and he says, "Coach, homeschool down here, and I'm going to play for Broome." And we took him open. Carpenter kid's a good body kid. Carpenter's going to be about 5 or 6 foot. He'll go a 168, 170. His arm right now, he's in the low 80s, 81. Pitches about 78. Jolly, same way. Shorter guy, left-handed. And Jolly's going to throw it 78, 79. When Jolly's focused and in the zone, he gets a little bit excited. It's hard. If he can slow it down a bit and just take on his momentum and take it to the plate, two can help us. That was a pretty good bit. Athletes coming up going to be our 10th, 9th grade, and 8th grade. I helped with 7th and 8th grade football, and they have won the last 2 years. They've lost one football game.
Gosh.
And they've, let's see. Last 1, 2, one football game in those 2 years. And that group of athletes is best 3-year back to back to back that I've seen in District 3 in the 6 years in there. Just the quality of the kid, the quality that we got coming. And there's a tailback. I know this is a baseball name, but Jalen McGill, write that name down. That kid is legit. Boy, I wish he played baseball. Looks like Bo Jackson. And really, I wouldn't lie. I've seen kids get out of his way on a football field. So he's a running back, linebacker. Yeah, wow, I wish he did. He's a track guy. But anyway, that group is our group. Our juniors, we got 5 good kids. Like I said, Paul Lee, and you've got Jackson down there in the Jonesville. Jackson, he transferred. And Jackson Fowler plays some first base. He took off a year and he came back. He's a football, basketball, baseball guy, good kid. Duncan, who's been with us about 6 years, every started with us a few years back, and just a good kid. And good, he struggled, lost his mom 2 years ago, and he's just basically been a friend to him. And he just saw us do it. And then Will O'Shields is a left-handed pitcher that we've got, the senior, soft-thrower lefty that looked real good behind him last year. So, Pro was more of a setup guy. We'd start jab off, bring in, then Clokey, because you go from 83 to 68, 70 to 90, those adjustments even at our level is tough to make. So we were blessed with Will coming in. He transferred in from Dorman. He came in. His mom was alumni from the Broome area, and they were looking for something a little taller. So we got Will to come in to that area. He's been with us 2 years, 3. This be his 3rd year with us. So that's our senior class. And Carpenter is in that junior class. So those are the groups that we're looking for. Everybody's going to get a shot, especially this year. We always say that our club, everybody's is wide open. And then we let numbers. I had a guy the other day, you love this. We're sitting there, and his kid's not very fast. And for sport, totally, we were talking about numbers. And I said, well, Coach, I've always been a numbers guy. We're going to look at things, here it is, and that's how we start to line up. But then he comes into that because you have guys that are gamers. I mean, we had a second baseman, USC Spartanburg, Dave Holtz would practice, and you'd be like, what in the world did we do? Why did we recruit this kid? He can't play dead in the Western movie, And then all of a sudden you get him in a game and he's making diving plays, he's hitting doubles, he's stealing bases, and you're thinking, that kid can play a little bit. Some guys are just better in a game. Yeah. So that's part of what we do. But it was funny. I was talking to that guy, and I says to him, I'm a numbers guy. Starting lineup first game's going to be based on numbers. And, I'm not a numbers guy, I'm a results guy. And I got to laugh. Go to an NFL, because he's a football. Go to an NFL combine and see what they do first. So it's funny how all this thing, especially now with all the techniques we have, you get spin rate and all, all my mind, and this guy's spin rate, and all this, and I'm laughing. So anyway, it's fun to see numbers, but then again, when you see that can flat out play, and he may be awkward. Bubba about a hitter one. He had him, I think, at soccer, and the kid, his hands were on his belt, and he was low, and he could hit. And Bubba would try to get his hands up high. So finally, Bubba's kid was, where do you punch from? If you're going to hit somebody, and he drew right to his belt on fight, and he drew from, he said, well, all right, then that's where, and the boy hit, over 300 in college ball. Some people you just let go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The results speak for themselves. You let them go as long as they're doing it right.
Exactly.
You kind of touched on it a little bit with that younger class you have coming up. So let's talk about some of the top newcomers you have coming to Broome this year that you expect to contribute on varsity in some fashion.
Right. I think, again, Paul's going to get his shot, being a senior. Been sitting there and patiently, and he's a corner guy, pitches a little bit. Jolly's going to get his shot. He's been waiting in the shadows behind Jeb and Stacy and those guys. And then Jackson, I look forward to Jackson playing a full year with us. He's a basketball guy, so he'll come out late. But when he connects, Tim Wallace used to say, he doesn't hit it much, but when he hits it, it goes a long ways. So if we can get him more consistent, he squares up. The ball travels well off his fade. A big kid. His lower body's, he's a lineman in football, so his lower half's big. So we're excited for those that's been in a program. And Will O'Shield. Will is big. He got leverage through extension. And I'm excited for him because he's a guy that, didn't pan farm at Norman and come to Broome. You don't come to Broome because you was great somewhere else. You come to Broome because it didn't work out for you. I'm just being honest with you. So, I'm hoping he sees the light at the end of the tunnel that, something that he wanted to see 3 years ago actually happens for him this year. We've got some young kids. Joel Jameson Derryberry is a catcher, along with Bryson Airwood, who's a football catcher. I think Airwood's going to help us off right off the bat play. And that's going to help us open Derryberry up. He's a backup quarterback. And he threw last year one inning over at Blacksburg, and he could have been our best C team arm, but he caught every game. So we may be able to get Derryberry back on the hill again. He had, tribal ball stuff he pitches. But for us, he has to catch. He's going to be okay. We have a Simpson kid that's in the 8th grade, Braden Simpson. He could play. Athlete, the little quarterback on the team, basketball player. We got Silas Brown, another 8th grader this kid's 6'1" already. Okay. I taught his dad, Jones. So, yeah, it's bad when you start getting grandchildren and dad that I coached years ago. But this kid can play, and it's funny. He's taller than his mom and dad right now. And just good people. Those two are young ones that I really think that road's going to make a jump. We got Suber, who plays center field, flat out run. He can pick him up, put him down with anybody. We split him with track. He runs short stuff with track, and then come practice baseball with us. There's just a number on that younger bunch. That Reese Wargerman, he's another middle infielder. Reese plays wide receiver. He's not very tall, but he's athletic, and his body has changed. His mama is a sister to Heath Hembry, so their bloodline is good. If you're doing horse racing, when you hear Hembry at Broome, you need to keep that bloodline going. Well, his dad, he built just like his dad. Heath's big dude. He's 6'2", 6'3", probably 6'4". 230, and then the little man Wagerman comes in, and he's 5'4", 140, but he's 130, maybe even 120. But he looks good. He's got the big calves and the high butt, and the broad shoulders, and grow into that. He looks like his dad. His dad's a strong built. So excited for him, and he did some things in football this year that I hadn't seen. He turned notch. So excited for him and what he can do. And then we've got some other guys. We got a little lefty, Mason Blackwell, who I look for him to step up. He throws off the mound, but he's a tough guy. He plays linebacker and outfield, and that's kind of a weird combo. In our sport, usually a linebacker's going to be the first, third, or catch. But this can run a little bit. And I'm excited to see him kind of make a jump for us, and blend in with these other guys. Like I said, we're going to be peppered 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, and maybe even some 8th grade on varsity. And that's just something we're going to have to do, based on our numbers and athletic. And one thing we've always done, even at Norman and Malden, the year we won state championship at Malden, Tommy Lentz played left field all year, started in left. He was in 9th grade. And the kid hit like 290 for the year and made a catch down at Union County Stadium and saved 2 runs, probably saved the game. Ryan Howell was a left-handed pitcher at Malden, 9th grade. And, he was like our number 4 pitcher, number 3 starter. And we won off 9th graders, even at big schools. Hunter Cole, holy Toledo at Norman. I mean, Hunter Cole was one of the best athletes I've ever coached. He started in the 9th grade at Norman High School. So if you've got that group that you can span over, if you think of college baseball, you come in as a freshman, people are like, oh, we've got this phenom freshman coming in. If they're good in high school, hey, let them play, man. Let them play. Get them out there.
That's right. And you alluded to it a little bit. What do you expect as far as your team for this upcoming season?
Big thing, but our kids, we're trying to surprise people because everybody knew this group was our group coming through with Eb and Ramirez and Crawford, Cam Moore. I mean, we just had a good group of kids that just came by and did some great things for us. And, we're a game away from playing for the region championship, truth be known. And so everybody's overlooked this bunch, but this bunch we have coming has played Chapman JVs close every year. So we're you know what I'm saying? We finished. It's a 2. They're not looking at a Broome. We get the old, okay, they're going to get after you. You got to respect them. But nobody's kind of feared us. We haven't really done it yet. And so you don't have that until you get to a pinnacle to where you've won that district and you played for the upstate, or you won that upstate and played for a state. Then people start to put that target on you. We're still hunting. We're not the hunted, we're the hunter. And I think if we throw strikes, and I think we're going to have to manufacture some runs. And I think we can do that. Our kids believe in that. And that's one thing that we're known for, of course, is base running and, trying to scratch a run. The deal is we're going to have to score more than one. We got to put some across because we just ain't got we ain't got that guy that goes out there, all of a sudden, if they got slow bats, we're going to just go fastballs at them. No, we're going to have to use smoke and mirrors. But I think we can scrap. We're in the region. Chapman's very good. Blue Ridge, they're moving in our region. Travis does a tremendous job, but he's got 2 lefties that
he does
throw it. He's got 2 that when they on the mound, he's got a chance to beat anybody. And he does a great job too. He and Fasaro are a little unique in the way that they're going to be steady fundamentally based on the process of what their team does. If the team can run, they're going to run. If they can power, they're going to power. I've said that before about Fasaro. And Travis saying, man, you talk about a head college guy, Travis, that won the national championship at North Greenville. People forget Travis won the thing when they were Christian school and in that coalition where they do the college work, but they have their own thing. Well, Travis won it. You talk about a cat and at Landrum, he won at Landrum. So you going into a cat that knows what he's doing, and I have the utmost respect for him. Love him to death. He's so funny. You better ball this cat coming at you in his way. Those kids have a belief too. They believe in the field, they've outworked you and beat you. And that's just fun to play. We played them when they're not in regions.
Yeah, he's got a good group for sure.
So we've seen what they got coming in. His JV kids coming. I think those 2 will be the elite. They'll be your top. They're your cream. And then Travelers Rest, that's a scrappy bunch. When I was at Union County, I moved back from Georgetown, Union County one year, and helped Paul Wilkes, who was at Union County. And we played those cats over there. And, man, they scrappy at the house.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, we got in there, and they had a corner guy, big first baseman. He tattooed. I think he was 4-4. We couldn't get his eye out. And, man, they just played into it that night, and they beat us pretty good. 8-3, I think, was the final. And I gained a lot of respect because being at Malden, Rocky Pittman was there, and we played him, and his son played. They were battlers. They'd get at you, but at Malden, no disrespect, we were good. We were going in. You didn't worry about it. But coming back in from Union and playing, then you're like, whoa, okay, you see a little bit different avenues when you ain't got your Mavericks. You've got your Jackets. Right. Man, we split one. We beat them down at the stadium later that year. But we went in there, and those cats, when they flip the switch, they're going to compete. And the guy at Carolina does a tremendous job. He's getting the program back. If you look at Carolina 20 years ago, they were very athletic. Their whole athletic program. And they filtered off. I know when I coached at SMC with Coach Wallace his first year, I was a volunteer for him. we had a Hollingsworth kid out of Carolina. He could play. And, you had one or two peppered in there throughout the years. But Rodney Ritchie, who pitched at Carolina when I was at Carolina, was a Carolina High graduate. So they've got some old tradition there, and they've kind of lost it. And this guy's trying to bring it back, and he's having the JV team for the first year. They'll have enough people to have a feeder, and that's always big in Greenville County.
Mm-hmm.
Their middle schools aren't connected with their high schools, and if Riverside's always benefited. Now, of course, Eastside's benefited from that Northwoods League. They keep them together in that Northwoods League, and they would filter them out. And when Chris Bates was Riverside, man, he'd just go over there, and them son guns just go and play for Riverside. And now Eastside's kind of turned the gauntlet on them, and they figured out that Northwoods, they got these guys coming in. So that's a pretty good scenario for feeder programs. But, I think us and TR a battle there. And then, of course, Carolina in the mix. And then, but I think your front runners right off the bat, if I were to say right now, especially Chapman's got a little Coggins kid, if I'm not mistaken, righty. Dude, you need to go watch him. He's going to be 82, 83, but he can change speed. He'll pop 85. He'll get under your hands with 85. He's kind of like Ricky. He can change speeds. He can make it. Oh, my God. He pitches, and he's ball to the rubber pitch. He ain't gun shy. And, boy, I saw him this fall. I fell in love with him. He played in the all-star stuff that the Diamond Prospect Fall League had up at Duncan Park, and he was dealing. And, here's another one. He's grown up through their program. He throws his off-speed for a strike. He's going to be tough. And them two lefties, if we're not playing that night, if Broome's not playing when Chapman sees Blue Ridge, my little redneck self's going to be up there watching them two play, because that's going to be a good ball game. Those two, they're just so competitive.
Yeah,
so
that'll be
fun.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you jumping on the show, Coach. I know I look forward to seeing you guys in the Steve Sanders preseason tournament coming up here, not too far away.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. We had one drop out on the slate, but we added another one, and that's good. That's got to be the best. I tell you, it's the best deal in town, dude. You're going to get guaranteed 3 games. It don't cost you a dime. Just bring us 12 balls. You get to play some good talent. Last year was a great tournament.
Yes.
You got some big name 5As in there. You got some pretty good 3As and good local stuff. And to honor people like Dean Jones, Steve Sanders, Coach Metcalf up there at Chapman. He's travel ball in the upstate. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand what he did 30 years ago. Bill Metcalf was doing fall baseball and all that up at Chapman way back. And, Dean Jones, it speaks of itself. Mr. Everhart, who was a long-time Legion guy, their names are bracket now. Steve, what he did for high school baseball, man, what a good dude. And I can still see him now with him glasses hanging down over his nose interviewing him. But, that's what we try to do. We try to keep the old history aspect of it. Don't go get away from that. And, just keep it close to Spartanburg and keep it unique to Spartanburg.
Yeah.
I think we got some pretty good baseball up through here. I've been in it 36 years, and I think the Spartanburg area, pockets there in Greenville, Columbia baseball is very good. And the old, if you recall back in the day, your Stratfords and those guys, they were very good. Stratford, Somerville, that was a good pocket right in there through there. And wow. And you get into that Columbia baseball, those cats better strap it on. And it doesn't matter if it's 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A. Man, those Lexingtons and those guys, when we get beat, Tommy Williams used to be at Lexington for years. When we get beat, we'd go watch Coach Williams. I loved him to death. And now I just pick one or two out that I just admire him coaching, and I'm up in the stands watching because I'm trying to learn, what do we got to do to get there. But yeah, that Steve Sanders gives everybody a chance early to see about any team in the upstate that's going to compete pretty good. And we've got some changes. The Spartan High just hired Jesse Dyer, who's going to do a tremendous job. And Wes Brown left Spartanburg and went to Woodruff, so that's going to be some changes in the county there. Coach Madges went over. Now he's the head guy at Gath. There'll be a change for him. And this to be coach last year at Blacksburg. He just took the football job at Blacksburg, so he's going to step down from baseball. So Coach says, who's done a great job for Blacksburg baseball, he's stepping down. Jail man. They've got a
Yep.
new guy. I think, Coach Simpson stepped down, and now the man, that'll be a different direction with those guys. So you've got some new names and some pretty good programs. So get to see them early. Come on out. We'd love to have you. The more the merrier. And every site's open. Burns is hosting. We're hosting. Spartan High's hosting. And, of course, Chapman. And so we'd love to have you guys out anytime. Our doors are open.
Yep, we will definitely be there for sure. I know I came last year, and we're gonna roll out a few more stops this year with that tournament. So we're excited to get. That's one of the best preseason tournaments around. So that's gonna be fun to get to.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. We enjoy. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Coach, I appreciate you hopping on today, and best of luck to you and Broome in the high school season coming up.
Thank you so much. Appreciate what you guys do for our young guys. It's amazing what you guys do now, how far this stuff has come. And thank you for all the coverage and all the positives you put out there for these young folks. Man, we appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you at the ballpark.
Yes, sir.